They said a cartel supervillain killed my dad. Mr. Edgar was the only one that told me the truth. It was Homelander. Homelander killed my dad.
One of the greatest things of the first season of The Boys was the way it portrayed superheroes as nearly unstoppable. Billy Butcher, Huey Campbell, Frenchie, and Mother's Milk were ordinary humans. They could not fly, they could not punch through walls, and they certainly could not survive direct fights with members of the Seven. Because of this, every encounter with a supe felt dangerous. The boys had to rely on intelligence, patience, planning, and creativity instead of power. Every victory had to be earned, and no moment captures this better than the death of Translucent. His death represents everything that made the boys unique. It was a victory achieved through investigation, experimentation, and careful execution. Every step of the operation required the characters to learn something new, adapt their strategy, and exploit a weakness that no one had considered before. The show respected the rules of Translucent's powers and forced the characters to kill him within those rules.
How are you able to vanish?
No, I don't actually vanish. My skin turns into this carbon metamaterial that bends the light.
He can reorder his carbon on his skin into metamaterial. As hard as diamonds, it's nearly impossible to penetrate.
Translucent was also the perfect first member of the Seven for the boys to face, because his powers seemed almost impossible to overcome. His carbon metamaterial skin allowed him to become completely invisible, while simultaneously becoming virtually indestructible. Bullets ricocheted harmlessly off his body. Knives were useless. Conventional explosives could not penetrate his skin. Even being hit by a speeding car only temporarily incapacitated him. His skin essentially functioned as an impenetrable shell that protected him from almost every external attack imaginable. This made him far more than just the invisible guy. His invisibility made him difficult to locate, while his hardened skin made him nearly impossible to kill, even after he had been captured. The combination of those two abilities forced the boys into a completely different kind of battle. Once they imprisoned him, they still had absolutely no idea how to finish the job. And that uncertainty is what made this so amazing.
All right, I bet we suffocate him.
Some Dominicans already tried this.
Electrocution will just increase the amps.
You already hit him with enough to drop a water buffalo, and we need to pierce the skin somehow.
Instead of immediately finding a solution, the boys repeatedly fail. Huey and Butcher are shocked to discover that Translucent survives being hit by an electric wire, and they go to Frenchie for help. Frenchie also does not know how to kill him at the start either. Nobody knows how this problem can be solved, so they experiment. Frenchie's first major idea is to create a specialized bullet coated in the same carbon metamaterial as Translucent's skin. His reasoning makes sense. If ordinary bullets cannot penetrate the skin, perhaps a bullet made from the same material could. But even this plan fails. Butcher fires the specialized bullet directly into Translucent's body, only for it to bounce off harmlessly. Instead of damaging him, it merely proves how truly invulnerable his exterior really is. Translucent laughs at them because he genuinely believes they are incapable of killing him. This failure is incredibly important because it reinforces that there is no easy solution.
Wait!
I'm invincible!
At the same time, they try to kill him. Every aspect of Translucent's imprisonment demonstrates how carefully the boys have to think. The entire room is lined with aluminum foil to interfere with the tracking chip hidden inside Translucent's body. Without this, Vought would have immediately located him. Likewise, the cage itself is electrified for a specific reason. Ordinary bars cannot stop someone like Translucent. His strength would allow him to escape almost immediately. Electricity is one of the only things capable of temporarily incapacitating him, so Frenchie builds an electrified prison that continuously shocks him whenever he touches it. This is specifically designed around Translucent's unique abilities. The entire operation revolves around understanding exactly what his powers can and cannot do. Eventually, Frenchie makes the breakthrough that changes everything. Rather than continuing to attack the outside, he realizes they have been thinking about the problem incorrectly.
That stuff really blocks the chip signal.
Yeah, it's just RF shielding foil. You can get it at Fry's.
You know who I am?
Like a turtle, but your insides, they're like the rest of ours. Soft.
Translucent's skin is virtually indestructible. His organs are not. Frenchie compares him to a turtle. The shell is nearly impossible to break, but the creature inside remains vulnerable. Instead of trying to penetrate the carbon skin from the outside, Frenchie exploits the one opening that bypasses it entirely. He inserts an explosive into Translucent's body through the rectum, placing the bomb behind the armor instead of attempting to destroy the armor itself. This works because it respects the rules that the show established. Translucent's power is never weakened. His skin never suddenly becomes vulnerable. Kimiko does not remove his powers, and there is no soup virus. The boys simply discover a loophole. The characters do not overpower soups. They outthink them. But even then, the problem is not finished. The foil-lined room is damaged, which allows Homelander to eventually come look for Translucent. So now the boys have to think not only about how to kill him, but when.
No, the problem is the skin, huh? It's hard like diamonds. How do you get to the squishy insides? Through the mouth, no? The stomach acid, the gag reflex.
He stuck a lump of plastic up your bum, son.
If they detonate the bomb while Homelander is nearby, Homelander's extraordinary hearing will immediately detect the explosion and trace it back to them. And they will die if Homelander catches them. This problem is also solved through thinking. Instead of detonating the bomb immediately, they remotely explode another safe house nearby. Homelander rushes towards the larger explosion first. The distraction creates just enough time for Huey to make the final decision. And kill Translucent. Every single part of Translucent's death depends upon planning. Capturing him required preparation. Containing him required preparation. Finding his weakness required experimentation. Escaping Homelander required preparation. Nothing happens by accident. Every step builds logically on the one before it.
Homelander.
That's Homelander? Homelander's here. He can see us. He's got X-ray vision.
Pull the detonator, he will hear. Everything all right, sir?
This is also a defining moment in Huey's story. Huey begins the show as an ordinary electronics store employee whose girlfriend Robin is accidentally killed by A-Train. He is horrified by violence and uncomfortable even discussing murder. Throughout the Translucent storyline, Huey repeatedly argues that they should simply release him. He does not want to become a killer. He believes there has to be another way. Translucent exploits these doubts, trying to manipulate Huey by insisting that he is not capable of killing anyone. For a brief moment, it almost works. When Translucent escapes his cage, Huey faces an impossible choice. If he lets him go, Translucent will almost certainly kill him, expose the boys, and allow the Seven to destroy everyone involved. If he presses the detonator, he crosses a moral line that can never be undone. Huey's decision is not presented as heroic, it is painful. Killing someone, even someone as corrupt as Translucent, has permanently changed him.
You're gonna kill him? I thought we'd question him or something. Right now, you're talking about randomly killing one of the most famous men on the planet. Those two guys in there, they want to kill you, okay? So you give me something, maybe I can... What?
This is also why Translucent's death feels fundamentally different from many of the methods introduced later in the show. By the 5th season, the existence of the soup virus is a representation of the changes that have happened in the show. Most fights against soups are face-to-face by people like Annie or Butcher or with the use of guns. The creativity is gone. The ingenuity and the stakes are gone. Rather than having to understand the strengths and weaknesses of individual soups, the virus, much like how they currently fight against soups, functions as a universal solution. The virus, their powers, and their guns threaten every soup, regardless of whether they possess invulnerable skin, super speed, laser vision, teleportation, or any other superpower. Kimiko is also capable of burning Compound V out of a person's body, bypassing many of the individual challenges posed by different soups. Translucent's death remains unforgettable because it rewards intelligence instead of brute force.
Point, love. We hit him with the virus today, while it still works. It's the smart play. We draw him out and hit him today.
Okay.
More than any other thing in The Boys, Translucent's death demonstrates that soups were not invincible, but defeating them required extraordinary imagination. It established the core idea that ordinary humans could fight gods if they were willing to study their enemies, exploit their weaknesses, and execute a flawless plan. Translucent's death was memorable because it was earned. Every failure, every experiment, every contingency plan, and every sacrifice contributed to a victory that felt both believable and satisfying. Rather than relying on a universal weapon that simply ignores a soup's powers, the boys defeated one of the most durable members of the Seven through ingenuity, persistence, and creativity. It is a perfect example of what made the boys amazing. Ordinary people overcoming extraordinary enemies, not with superpowers, but with intelligence.